IMHO Talk Show.
Sir Charles, Miss Max, IMHO Talk Show. Back like we never left, Miss Max. You're giving the people what they want. And one thing that the people have wanted is CIC. So I'm so glad that we have Tara Farley here, the Director of Communications and Engagement.
Yes, sir.
At CIC. So Tara, welcome. First time
Thank you.
in the studio with us. But the work that you all do is so invaluable. And Max, before we even kick it at Tara though, what's your take on CIC? Because I feel like you as a as a business owner, right?
Very true. Very true.
It's been a benefit to your business too, right?
It has. I was just sharing with Tara during the right before the interview started, that I and my husband took the CIC class. Must be like 3 years since we completed the course, and it is a great avenue to, especially for a someone who wants to start a business but no prior experience. And don't really necessarily know where to begin, and trying to educate themselves kind of in all facets of what it means to operate and run a successful business without getting for your degree. And so it was very beneficial to us, and we got to meet a lot of great people along the way. We attended a course with some, 15, 20 other people who had aspirations of starting a business too. We took the course as a matter of kind of further educating ourselves. We had already established at least one of our businesses at that time. But it was very informative. I will say that it's one of those things, as with any course, you get out what you put in.
Say so.
And so, if you do the work and are attentive and stick to the manual, then it's a great program.
And speaking of which, Razor must be on a CIC job, because when he connected, I heard all kinds of industrial equipment. Now, it wasn't kids; it was industrial equipment. So Razor, we're here with Tara. Go ahead and give her flowers.
Sorry, Tara. I'm sorry.
Hello, Tara. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
Doing good. Tara has been very instrumental in the work that I was doing when I was with the Fountain Fund as well. But Max is being humble. We were the greatest CIC class ever in existence. Max, you got to tell it.
Put something on
Is Max being humble, or are you being a little braggadocious?
Hey, just take it how you want it, Mr. Show.
He is being himself.
There you go. Thank you, Tara.
Yeah, but honestly, anybody that really wants to grow their business, the information that you get, like we were fortunate enough to be with the Spill team, and that came in and explained different things with us, right? But the information that was gained from the other students inside of the classroom not only made me a better business person, but they added to my life, because I got a chance to see how other people take the same circumstance and apply it in a different light, which is what you need to do in business. You can't do everything your own way because you don't pay yourself, so to speak. So you need to be able to be not a chameleon, but you got to be like water. You have to be able to be what a person needs at that given time. And CIC was instrumental in what I do now, even though the seeds that were planted may not have flourished for a year or so. Some things were instantaneous, and some things were a platform that was built to make me better. And I have nothing but great things to say about the program.
Good stuff. So Tara, hopefully you feel welcome and supported right now. I mean,
I don't have to say anything.
Right?
My job is easy. I'm just sitting here listening. Like, yep, that too. Yep.
But while we have you, let the folks know, your position with CIC, and so they know how you contribute to this great work.
For sure. I am the Director of Communications and Engagement. I joined the CIC team about 2.5 years ago. The first year I was fully remote, so I've only been in Charlottesville a little over a year and a half. But my background is in business management, marketing, communications, and I own my own business and branding development company as well. So that was kind of putting me in CIC, just kind of put all of my different hats that I had worked through over the years at the span of my career. It kind of put everything in one place. So I'm able to help push the vision, push the stories of the entrepreneurs, but also able to sit down with the entrepreneurs and talk through, okay, what's going on with your brand? What's going on with what you're trying to do, where you are versus where you're trying to go, and see how I can help them with that.
Okay. Got you. Thank you. So what is so we heard the success stories. But so what has CIC been up to since then, and and is up to now that the folks should know about that are interested?
CIC has celebrated now 11 years. Last year was our big 10-year anniversary event, CIC 10.
Yeah, congrats.
So we celebrated 11 years. We actually just had the alumni reunion this past Thursday at the Vault on the downtown mall. So just an opportunity to bring the entrepreneurs back together. We've crossed over. We are vastly approaching now, I think, 4 million in loans that we've issued to small business owners. Last year, we crossed over 2.5 million. And since then, of course, we've been able to continue to put capital into the hands and the businesses that are in the Charlottesville area and surrounding counties. We have a mentoring program.
And surrounding counties.
And we are not limited to Charlottesville. So we have a Piedmont Loan Fund. Orange County has a loan fund with us. We have probably 8 to 10 different loan funds that we're able to access. And of course, there's an application process, but ultimately it helps when you have been connected to the organization. You've gone through our workshop, you have sat down with a business advisor with the Central Virginia Small Business Development Center, because then we can speak to your habits, your integrity. We can speak to where your weaknesses are, so that there may be more probability that we can offer the loan than you may not have when you go to a bank or a credit union. So it's great that we can offer microloans up to $50,000, but ultimately we're just continuing to do our best to support the entrepreneur holistically. Sometimes it means staying after the workshop and talking with them through their homework. Sometimes they come in the office and they just catch one of us and we sit down and talk through where they are in their business, where the hurdles are, what it is they're trying to do. But we like to say that we are changing the face of what an entrepreneur looks like, because we recognize that a lot of people hear small business and they hear entrepreneur and they think trust fund, or they think endowment, or they think, they came from this legacy of wealth, when that's not always the case. And it doesn't have to be. We're here to give you the tools, the resources, the community that you need so that you can be successful. Anybody can come up with an idea, but to Max's point, if you're able to sit and put the work in and pay attention and listen to your colleagues, get that customer discovery done, have those hard conversations up front, then you're able to take all of that and put it into the business that you want to see manifest in the area.
Okay. Now, is it competitive on the loan front? Because as I understand it, right, like it's a program that you go through to qualify you to receive the loan, right?
No, you don't have to go through our program to qualify to get the loan. You just will have a lower interest rate typically by 1 point if you come through CIC's Entrepreneur Workshop, or if you have been a longtime client of the Central Virginia Small Business Development Center, or another support organization that supports entrepreneurs. So it's not that you have to come through. It helps you as far as the interest. But the application process, it's pretty standard. You're going to have to show your business plan. You're going to have to show your cash flow statements, your profit and loss statements, your break-even analysis, those things that show the health of your business, but also show the trajectory of your business. And sometimes you don't have those. So we have a startup and growth loan now that you may not have a cash flow statement because the business is just jumping off, but you should be able to give us some market validation. You should be able to give us some research, some customer discovery that shows this is a viable idea, that you've put some time and effort and energy into it. And of course, if you don't have the profit from the business standpoint, then we will have to look at your personal bank statements and things of that nature. But it's nothing that should intimidate you. It's nothing that should overwhelm you. If you let let us know what you're trying to do and you're honest and you're forthright, then our loan officer, our director of lending, director of lending and operations, Carolina, she's amazing.
Mhm.
She's going to just sit down and talk with you and figure out, okay, before you apply, let's
Mhm.
talk through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent, so that
Mhm.
when you actually apply and it goes forward to the committee for approval,
Mhm.
you're in a better position to be able to get that. So it's competitive from the standpoint of you can be in your own way.
Mhm.
It's competitive from the standpoint of if you're not willing to put the time and effort and
Yeah.
energy into it,
Mhm.
then you can basically box yourself out.
Mhm.
But it's not competitive from the standpoint of if you're not our client, then we don't want to work with you. That's
Mhm.
not the case.
Yeah, and if you don't put that work in, you're gonna just go to a bank that cares nothing about you and pay more interest.
You're going to pay more interest. They won't care, but they also won't support you through the journey. So
Mhm.
we have a financial management program, and that program pairs you with a financial coach that's literally looking at your business financials, looking at your personal financials, because the other big piece of being an entrepreneur is understanding that what happens to you happens to the business in
Mhm.
some way, shape, or form is going to have an impact. So if you are struggling personally and this business is supposed to be your lifeline, then we need to focus on what's causing the struggle on the
Mhm.
personal level,
There you
and
go.
then get you acclimated to different habits and get you recording things better. Sometimes you have the money, but you're
Mhm.
not tracking properly.
Mhm.
So
Right,
you don't
right.
recognize where your money is going.
Mhm.
So that's why you're coming up short. So just those different conversations through our financial management program, sitting down with our director of lending, having those conversations can prepare you to do what it is you're trying to do.
Can
with your
I
business.
just say that you
Mhm.
have just painted the perfect picture
Mhm.
of what CIC is and
Mhm.
the services that it offers?
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
talk about an elevator pitch.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of see why she's director of
Right,
communications.
Hey, Charles.
What's up?
Hey, let me hit her with something here real quick then. All right. One of the things I hear when people ask me about CIC is the trust factor. They hear everything that she just said, and it's a wonderful thing. But when it comes to people feeling like CIC or any business entity is going to be in their business, and they have things that they really don't want to expose yet, they'll ask people that have graduated through the program questions that might not make it to Carolina. Is it Carolina?
Mhm.
Yeah, that might not make it to her to even ask. What would you say to the people that they have an idea, they want to get started in business, but they're vulnerable when it comes to exposing their things that they like to do that are really holding themselves up?
He ain't talking about nobody but me.
Mhm.
Hit the button
I
for
am
him.
not.
You
He ain't talking about nobody but me.
I think it's
That's why Charles had the volume down low on my head. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're perfectly fine. I think it's a great point and a great question, because particularly in the brown and black communities,
Mhm.
it's very easy to feel embarrassed about what your situation is. You don't come from legacy, may not come from wealth, you don't have this savings account that's going to be able to float you through whatever the process is. But at the end of the day, you have to make a decision.
Mhm.
Are you willing to be vulnerable enough to get the help you need?
Mhm.
You don't know what you don't know, but you can talk to someone who does know what you don't know, who can help teach you what you don't know and help you overcome what you didn't know.
Mhm.
So what I would say to that person who is saying, oh, I don't want to put myself out there, I don't want to be embarrassed. Everybody's embarrassed about something on some level.
Mhm.
You have to make a decision. What's more important? Your legacy, you building generational wealth, you bringing
That's true.
this vision to reality, or holding on to your personal privacy.
Mhm.
The question is, which one do you value more?
Mhm.
And you have to make that decision. I can't tell you, Carolina can't tell you, no one at the team can say it's more important that you be private and that you keep all of your information to yourself.
Mhm.
What I can say is that the people who have taken the chance on themselves, who have felt that they were worthy enough of the opportunity. They were vulnerable enough to say, here's where I am. I can tell you that they had a different outcome.
But for the person who's intimidated about being vulnerable, to put that dream out there,
you have to trust somebody, and we're just hoping that you will allow us to be that somebody.
Okay.
Because ultimately, when you're building a business, most businesses are only as successful as the community that's supporting them. And so we try to bring you into this community, not just from the team member standpoint, but to Troy's point, when you're in the workshop, you're dealing with other people who are dealing with something very similar. Your mother may not understand your struggles as a business owner. Your sister, your cousin, your best friend, they may not understand the questions you're asking yourself and where that doubt lies. But when you have someone who's either walked the path and had to overcome those things, and those are the people you're talking to, or when you have someone who's sitting right beside you and saying, you know what, I'm dealing with the same thing. Here's how I am dealing with it. Or have you tried this? Sometimes that safe space, that community, that vulnerability is the thing that gets you where you're trying to go. So when it comes to, can you trust us? Of course, I'm going to say absolutely, because I love the people that we work with, but I love the people that we work for. And the people that we work for are the people in the community who didn't have, you know, the 5-year MBA program, or they didn't go through the cohort at Harvard and Stanford and UVA, but they have an idea, and it's a good idea. They just need understanding. I would say just bet on yourself.
Right.
If you don't want to trust us, trust yourself enough to say, if I get in the right environment, I can thrive. If I get in the right environment, I can build. If I get in the right environment, I can grow. And so all we're saying is, no, you don't know us, but come get to know us. Come sit down with us in the office. You don't have to be a client to have a conversation. You don't have to be a client to be able to ask questions. We have people who walk in, because the way the office is set up, CIC is on one side of the hall. And then if you go straight down the hall, the other suite is the Small Business Development Center, the Central Virginia Small Business Development Center. So between those two doors, you have 15 people who are ready to talk to you about your business. And if they don't know, they tell you. If we don't have the answer, on the CIC side, we will walk you down to the SBDC. If the SBDC thinks that there is something that you can gain from the CIC side, then they're going to walk you down to us. But it's never a cold environment. It's always, how can we serve you? How can we help you? How can we help you build? So I would say, if you're thinking about it, if you have questions about it, come talk to us. But also talk to some of our graduates. You know, Matt,
even Razor,
even
preach out.
So the application time is open now.
Absolutely.
Right? So so tell us about that process, and if there's anything else going on currently that we should know about.
Sure thing. Applications are open for the 16-week entrepreneurial workshop that starts in the spring. Classes will begin in February. Applications are open through January 5th. And so anytime between now and January 5th, you can apply on our website, cicville.org. We have a cohort that's taking place in Charlottesville, and then we have a cohort that will be in Culpeper Orange. And so depending on where you live, whichever one is convenient, you can apply for that one. And it is in person. It is 16 weeks. It is 6 to 9 p.m. every Tuesday, like clockwork. It's one day a week. There's homework. There are things that you have to do to actually, you know, apply the information that you've learned. But again, applications are open through January 5th, and classes will begin in February. All the information is on our website. We also have the resource fair that's coming up on November 29th. We still have some slots available for that. Big. And that is basically a time, again, for you to come in and sit and ask your questions. So it could be accounting, it could be web design, it could be SWAM certification, marketing, communication, social media. All of the categories are listed on the websites.
All these services free?
All of these
Okay.
services are free. The entrepreneur workshop is $750 for the 16 weeks, but scholarships are available. So as long as you acknowledge that you are interested in a scholarship, when we have the conversations, we meet with every single person who applies to the workshop before we decide who's going to be admitted for each semester. So there is a price tag to the workshop, but there is not a price tag for the resource fair. Is completely free. You do not have to be an existing CIC or SBDC client to participate, but that is from 12 to 4 on November 29th. And then Giving Tuesday is in a week or so, probably I think about 10 days from now.
Yeah.
And that's just a time where we encourage everyone in the community to give back to a nonprofit. And of course, CIC is a nonprofit. And we call it an opportunity to invest in local businesses, because this year we actually have donors who are matching. So you get to double your impact. If you give us $10, it's actually going to be $20. If you give us $50, it's $100. But it's a great opportunity to give into something and be a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
even
Tara.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I
You're
didn't want you
totally
to
fine.
miss. I didn't want you to miss this part that I know about CIC. We're talking about all the new entrepreneurs, but for the ones who have went through the classes, that you've reached your plateau of what you can do. Are they able to come back and sign up for classes as well?
The ones who have been through the workshop, as long as you contact Wana, our programs director, or Christine, she is our programs coordinator, is Wana. Christine is the workshop coordinator for the Culpeper Orange cohort. As long as you let them know that you are a previous graduate and you just want to come in, say, to sit in on the break-even class or to sit in on the cash flow class, they will absolutely welcome you back. The only reason we ask that you let us know in advance is because it is a place for those entrepreneurs to develop. And we don't ever want it to be an overwhelming experience for them where they can't learn because we have 20 visitors sitting in the back. So as long as you let them know, then we will absolutely welcome you with open arms.
Good stuff. Now, how do people reach out to you for more info and and all the CIC has to offer, all the good things?
All the things.
How they follow up?
The website is cicville.org. My email address is my name, so TEIRA@cicville.org. And you can always email info@cicville.org. We are at CICville across social media platforms. So if you just want to hear some of the entrepreneur stories or check out some of the testimonials, you can go to CICville on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Okay. Good stuff. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So you haven't been here, but you've been on radio before.
I have been on radio.
Okay, all right. I can tell. I'm about to say, you sharp, Tara.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I try to represent CIC well.
You did, and yourself.
Thank you.
And I'll actually let Tara have the final word. She said something a few minutes ago that stuck with me, and she said, "Bet on yourself."
Absolutely. Bet on yourself. Believe that you're worthy of the investment, the time, the energy to be able to collaborate with other people, other like-minded individuals. We want to see you win. We want to see you succeed. We want to see your business help the community, because ultimately when you build a business, it's not just about you, but it's about your family, your legacy, and the people you're serving. So we say, give us an opportunity to be a part of your journey, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Some people go through CIC and realize, you know what? I don't want to be an entrepreneur. And we don't consider that a failure. We consider that a mature response to a process and a journey. So ultimately, we're here to support you wherever you are in that journey. We have entrepreneurs who are just getting started. And sometimes we have entrepreneurs who have been in business for a few years and they're trying to pivot, or they're trying to do something else, and they take the class. So that's the other beauty, is you're able to deal with, interact with, and collaborate people at different spaces within their journey and learn from them. So I thank you guys for having me today, and definitely welcome the opportunity to help any of our entrepreneurs in, like I said, in Charlottesville and surrounding areas.
Thank you.
And please keep us posted of everything you have going on.
Absolutely.
So we can share.
Will do. Thank you guys.
IMHO Talk Show.